Welcome back to the Explainer. Today, we're completely tearing apart question 19 from the November 2023 Higher Tier Paper 2 for Pearson Edexcel GCSE Mathematics. We're going to look at the clear workings and list out all the possible answers using the exact wording right from the official mark scheme. So let's jump right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. We're handed two raw mathematical functions right off the bat. First up, f of x is equal to 2x plus 3 all squared. Second, g of x is equal to 2x minus 1. And the problem asks us to find two specific things here. Part A asks for the composite function gf of negative 3, and Part B asks us to find the inverse of g of x.
All right, Part A, finding the composite function g of f of negative 3. Now, with composite functions like g, f, the order you do things is absolutely critical. Finding g, f of negative 3 basically means we've got to first apply function f to negative 3, and then feed that exact result entirely into function g. It's like a chain reaction. Now, the official mark scheme has a specific note for examiners that reads, substitution may be seen in two steps. This means both of these distinct algebraic approaches you see are perfectly valid to get your marks. You can do the two-step numerical substitution, putting negative 3 into f, calculating a number and tossing that number right into g, or, you can take the one-step algebraic route. That's where you substitute the entire function of f into g first, expanding it all the way out into 8x squared plus 24x plus 17, and then substituting the negative 3 at the very end. Honestly, the examiner accepts both.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing exactly what triggers that crucial first method mark, officially known as the M1 mark. The mark scheme explicitly lists three exact mathematical paths that'll award you this point. You get the M1 mark if the examiner sees you write 2 times the quantity 2x plus 3 squared minus 1. You also get it if you expanded that whole thing to 8x squared plus 24x plus 17. Or if you just went straight for the numerical substitution, writing 2 times the quantity of 2 times negative 3 plus 3 squared minus 1. Showing literally any of these three lines of working proves to the examiner that you truly understand how composite functions operate. Let's actually walk through the quickest route here, the two-step substitution. Honestly, it's often the fastest way to secure that M1 mark without getting totally bogged down in expanding quadratics. Step 1, substitute negative 3 into f of x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Add 3, we get negative 3. Square that, and boom, we arrive at a neat positive 9. Step 2, we just feed that 9 directly into g of x. Replacing the x gives us 2 times 9 minus 1. Okay, before we reveal the final answer, we've got to talk about the second mark available here. The A1 mark, which stands for accuracy. On the mark scheme, right next to the A1, are the letters CAO. This simply stands for correct answer only, and it means exactly what it sounds like. There's zero wiggle room here. No unsimplified fractions, no uncalculated expressions. The examiner wants a single, fully resolved number, otherwise it's no final point for you.
And that final correct answer only is 17. Just like we calculated a second ago, 2 times 9 is 18, minus 1 leaves us with exactly 17. Writing down 17 officially secures that final accuracy or A1 mark of Part A. That's 2 marks easily in the bag just by following the clear, logical steps the examiner expects to see.
Moving right along to Part B, finding the inverse of g of x. Finding an inverse is basically all about reversing mathematical operations, and honestly, the mark scheme is surprisingly flexible here. To get the first method mark, the M1 mark in Part B, the mark scheme is just looking for a suitable first step. And this brilliantly illustrates how many ways you can start, because it explicitly lists 4 acceptable variations. You could write y plus 1 equals 2x. You could swap the variables right away and write x plus 1 equals 2y. You could use function notation, writing g of x plus 1 equals 2x. Or you could even jump straight to the fraction, y plus 1 all divided by 2 equals x. The examiner accepts every single one of these because they all demonstrate the correct initial mathematical instinct, which is isolating the variable. Let's step through the most standard algebraic rearrangement to see exactly how this unfolds. Step 1, we set up the initial equation by simply replacing g of x with y, giving us y equals 2x minus 1. Step 2, we begin reversing those operations. We add 1 to both sides, which gives us y plus 1 equals 2x. And guess what? Just writing this down immediately locks in your M1 mark. Finally, step 3. We isolate the x completely by dividing both sides by 2. This leaves us with x equals y plus 1 all over 2. So, the crucial point here is understanding the criteria for the final accuracy mark, the A1. Unlike Part A, which fiercely demanded correct answer only, the mark scheme for Part B features the abbreviation OE. This stands for or equivalent. This is honestly a huge relief for test takers. It essentially means that as long as your final mathematical expression is algebraically identical to the target answer, you are going to score the full points, even if you formatted it slightly differently. Let's move to and see how this builds into our final answer. The official A1 answer, required by the mark scheme, is the inverse function of x equals x plus 1, all divided by 2. But because of that OE rule we literally just talked about, if you decided to write your answer separated out as 1/2 x plus 1/2, the examiner will gladly award you the full mark anyway. You've successfully demonstrated the inverse operations, and that's what counts.
And there you have it, folks, the whole shebang. A complete breakdown of question 19, mapping out every acceptable path, substitution step, and the exact format required by the mark scheme to solve it. Now that you know the rules of the game and you've seen the precise workings behind the scenes, are you ready to think like an examiner on your next test? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.